We're very happy to be part of the OW2 community for so many years now. So yes, I'm going to talk about challenges and opportunities around AI. What does it actually change for companies like us? What can happen? So first, who's XWiki? So XWiki is 20 years doing open source. It was created in 2004 by me. Today it's 70 employees. We're self-funded, 5 million euro revenue. We're actually working on 2 software, XWiki and Cryptpad. And one of the aspects is that we do have heavy competition from American providers. So we're with XWiki, we're in the wiki sector and collaboration sector in general, document editing, and we're facing companies like Confluence or Notion. So if you're still running Confluence in your company, do come to see us. We have great programs to help you migrate, and great solution. We're just migrating the European Parliament, for example. We have migrated a very large US software company called BMC. And so we're able to migrate very, very large installation with our client team. And we're very on par in terms of what can be done, and there's many people that have been not so happy about the market power that Atlassian has had using their proprietary aspect to raise prices. But we also compete on the document editing section with Cryptpad. Cryptpad can be used by individuals, but also by company for like as a Google Docs alternative. And obviously competing with this type of company is really tough. But still, we've been able to fund Cryptpad and have people, like 200,000 people using Cryptpad monthly, 2 million pads per month on the internet, and more than 1,000 subscribers, more than 1,500 instances running Cryptpad. So this was my shameless plug of telling a bit more about us. And what I want to talk about is price increases. So I'll start with price increases. Some example of what's happening with AI on the market. So a couple months ago, Canva announced a 3 times price increase for 5 user accounts, and basically it's not really the price increase. I mean, it happens all the time that you have price increases from time to time, but 3 times it's a lot. But what's important is the justification of the price increase. And the justification was, we are updating the price for customers on this older plan to reflect our expanded product experience, blah, 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 mostly based on AI. And basically, they tell you, yeah, you get the price increase, but do you want the AI features? That's not an option. So you don't have the choice. And I think that's a really important aspect. Second example, Microsoft, for personal accounts, they had an option to have AI on top. They integrated AI in the option, so not for enterprise accounts, but for end users. And they replaced a $30 a user or something like that, or $20 a user option into plus 43% increase of the price, and you have AI integrated. And again, you almost not have the choice. So there was a little characters. If you search very well, you can find a way to stay on your prior plan for a limited time. So it's basically said that this won't be guaranteed in the future. So you'll get this AI. And if you look at enterprise business, so it's slightly different today, but you know what will happen? They have the decision on whether or not they integrate it in the product. What's interesting is that Copilot is at $30 a user per month, and that's 3 times the basic price of an Office Microsoft 365 subscription. So AI is very costly compared to what you get for Office 365. Third example, Google Workspace. Overnight, they decided to free human potential by putting AI to work. You can't invent marketing, maybe written by AI, probably, but and they increased by 18% the price of subscription. That's €2 per month per user. No way to refuse. and they didn't warn clients. AI would be turned on right away on everybody's accounts, and there was no configuration initially to block the usage, so you could not say, I don't want it, I don't want my user to use AI because of, I don't know, security reason, whatever reason. There are very good reasons that to block AI or to control how AI is being used by your employees because of the risks of leaking more data. But they didn't give that initially, and they had to be really forced and pushed by their user base to say, stop this. Actually, so one way to fund the R&D with AI with these companies is, okay, make everybody pay for it. So don't. I mean, if you have the power to decide what your user have, when you have market power, you can just force people to pay for your R&D even if they don't want it. You just decide to push the product by default. So I have this little graphic that everybody knows, and somehow I think we found the answer to what's behind giving SaaS for free and the end result, which is making profit. AI is kind of the strategy that these SaaS providers are using right now to make more profit. This has been their excuse to raise all the prices. Now the thing is, do we have productivity gains? Because of course, I mean, why not? Huh? If it's raising productivity, the problem is that we don't really know. We have no study, no measure if it's really improving people's productivity. Yeah, we can find one example here and there that, oh, I won a lot of time because I used AI, but I mean that's just one task in one day of one employee, and everybody has to pay 30% more in your company, even those that might not have any benefit from using AI or even might have problems because they use AI, like they might risk breaking, you know, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I don't want people to make all their decisions based on AI today, given the quality of what's going out. Like you don't want to risk people's life because you're just trusting what the AI is saying without questioning it. So my problem here and my vision here is that this is only the beginning. We haven't seen even the start of what can happen around AI. So why? So for me, actually not five, like 5 reasons cost to go up. So there's a few things. First, there's a good chance that everybody's dumping in this market, so that the real price of AI, we don't see it. The other reason is monopoly. Another reason, our technology reason, reasoning agents, MCP. These are 3 technologies that are being developed right now, and if you look at these technology, they all have the effect of increasing the cost of AI. And if you look at it a little more, is that most of the progress of AI in the recent year, they haven't been models that are so much greater or things like that, or they haven't been major change in the technical architecture of the hardware that is so much more efficient. Most of the progress of AI have been in throwing more power at it and throwing more electricity at it. Reasoning, if you compare GPT-4 and GPT-3, it takes more time to get an answer. It means that the answer is computing more, consuming more energy. Agents, they're running in the background. So all this is going to generate more electricity. So the problem is that if you look at AI infrastructures, you have already studies that says today you can go from 4% to 25% of energy consumption in the US for AI infrastructure. So we hear 2 gigawatt data center by Meta. So it's important to have some information of what that means. Huh? 2 gigawatts means 2 nuclear reactors. So, I mean, it doesn't mean exactly the same thing when you just say the number 2 gigawatt. Doesn't mean anything to anybody. 2 nuclear reactors. That's a lot. I think we have 30 in France or something like that, or 60, maybe 60, I don't know. 60, yeah, 30 factories with 2 reactors each or something like that. Stargate, 10 data centers in construction in Texas. Oracle's buy 40 billion GPUs, that's 400,000 GPUs. That's a lot of GPUs, that's a lot of power that will run. Recently, I saw an article that was mentioning that gas turbine purchase waiting time now is 7 years, and that prices have gone up 2x if you want to buy a gas turbine in order, and the reason is hyperscaler buying that. The thing is, what's the limit? And my theory is that the only limit is how much people are ready to pay for AI. So the limit is the price. And any efficiency gains, so if the GPUs are better, if the technology gets better, will be transformed into more power thrown at the AI. Because users will always want something more intelligent. They will never stop somehow. They have a big risk that nobody will stop at saying that we want this to be better. So that means that the limit of price, I mean, so right now we've seen with Jan's presentation that NVIDIA is robbing the bank in the space. Maybe they'll get competition and they'll stop because there is other competitors that are better, and then price can go down. Right now they're getting most of the margins in the sector. So you could see a theory where the cost of the hardware goes down. What will be, suppose the hardware goes down, the price of the hardware goes down. What will stay and is impossible to remove is the price of energy. So in the end, the question is how much will be ready to pay in terms of energy. And the problem is that, well, if we don't stop throwing power at it, if there is no limit to throwing power at it, it means energy demand will rise. 10%, 20% more than today, 30% more than today, double than today. And one aspect that is very important to understand is that at the same time, we have a high demand increase for AI of electrical energy. We also need to transition all the cars to clean energy and to electricity. And we need to transition a lot of stuff to electricity. So, I mean, if we are demanding 30% or 40% or 50% more energy, the first thing that will happen is that energy costs will skyrocket, unless there is laws that stops this. And how can you stop it? You can say energy for heating is going to be cheaper. Energy for AI is going to be increased. That means that energy costs for AI will even more skyrocket if you do that. So you have a very high risk that the price of the energy today used for AI is not the price of energy of tomorrow for the AI. So I cannot predict. I'm not an economist here, but I think we need that prediction, because what is the limit of price? It all depends on the price of energy, and we have no vision of what it can become. The only thing I'm pretty sure of on my side is it will go up. And there's going to be an issue there. So now, is there an opportunity out of this? Well, the opportunity is that you can actually decide to have zero cost of AI in your product. So that's a possibility, and you'll be much cheaper than AI products. So we have that strategy with ScriptPad, and we don't really have it really by choice. We have it by technology reasons. So today, if we want to do privacy, AI is a no-go, because you're sending the data to AI system. There is no system to really do good AI with good privacy. Well, we could imagine that it might be possible to run the AI on your computer and on the device. Huh? We can see that Apple is trying to do that. But it's still very limited, and it might not be competitive, especially if people are throwing like huge hours of AI compute on servers to do the best AI possible. So the local AI will be much more limited than server AI. So at this point, ScriptPad is a strategy of no AI. We can be cheaper. So we see it as good for us. I mean, in the end, Google Docs will become more expensive. So that's good for us. That's a good strategy. Another positioning is ethical AI. And And one of the key points from my point of view of the first step of ethical AI, and there's many things that can be looked at, and I would recommend to look at what Nextcloud is publishing on it. They've done more work than we have done on this subject to consider what is ethical AI. Ethical AI is sovereign AI. It's AI that you run yourself. It's AI, but it's also AI that you actually tell people what they consume, what they use. Because if we have a major ecological issue because of the increase of energy consumption of AI, then we need to tell people what they're doing. And so for me, the first thing is that people need to pay for the energy they use. So they need to know how much energy they're using, which is not the case on OpenAI and all these systems. So ethical AI is let people choose if they want AI or not in your product. They decide, not force it on people, and pay by usage. And additionally, data protection, et cetera, measuring energy consumption. So price, SaaS provider will make prices go up. It's, from my point of view, a unique opportunity for providers to have results and become more competitive. And for that, I have a little bit story. This is the curve of revenue of XWiki since Confluence and Atlassian has raised their prices. And so for years and years, we've competed with a provider that has captured market share with a certain price range and a certain promise to the user. You can run on your servers, you can run at this price. And they, at some point in 2020, they made a major shift. They decided they would become a cloud-first company. They renounced the promise and the prices they had before. They increased the prices by 3. They decided that some lower cost server would not exist anymore. And this is what happened to us. And so it automatically, with a good strategy as a company to provide a migration path to our customers, we found customers and we got customers. So as I mentioned, we have a BMC in the US, European Parliament, but we're talking to major companies. Major companies, like, they're not easy to serve. None of them are easy to serve because they're all very big companies that have high demand and are risk averse and want things to work. But we do have results, and that's really important. So for me, AI is a similar type of opportunity. That it's going to be huge price increase. Let's run in that price increase opening as a provider. So to conclude here, for me, it's propose AI as an option and paid by usage. So don't force people to buy AI in your product. Communicate on ethical AI and reasonable usage. And we should also force the rest of the industry not to couple, but I'm not sure they will do it. So this is going to be good for us. And if they don't, it's going to be good for society. And that's it. Thank you very much. And I can take maybe one question.
Thank you, Ludovic.